Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the review for the 7.3 quiz. All right, as you can see, we're going to start with functions here at the top of your review sheet. So I'm going to go ahead and put in 3.5 at 3x and a half. 3x to the half here. We're going to subtract everything, g of x, which would be the 4x minus 7. So really the only trick here in the first one is distributing that minus in. And that will be it. So 3x to the half minus 4x plus 7. As far as 2 goes, we're going to take 4x minus 7 and multiply that by 3x to the half. So the first one, we have 3 times 4, which is 12. I'm going to do 1 plus a half, which gives me 3 halves. Now I'm going to subtract. Now I'm going to multiply 3x to the half times 7, which would be minus 21x to the half. All right. Number 3. Looks like we're just going to plug and chug here. So this looks like 4x minus 7 over a 3x to the half. And that would be it. Right? Do not have to simplify that if you keep it as one fraction. So let's go ahead and move down to our next 3 problems. Okay, so the next 3 problems of 4, 5, and 6 are dealing with domain. So it might be beneficial if I put this in radical form. So you do not have to worry about division by 0 here, but you can take the square root of a negative. So we need to set the x greater than or equal to 0. So basically, anything that's at 0 or larger will be in the domain. So that would be 0 to positive infinity. Right? Remember, you cannot take the square root of negative numbers. Going to 2 here. This is 12x all to the third, but this is all under the square root, just like this is 21. Sorry, let me rewrite that again. That 12 is in front of it, so it actually looked like 12 times the square root of x cubed minus 21 times the square root of x. So again, we cannot actually do the square root of a negative here. So again, we're looking at x is greater than or equal to 0. Oh, it's already solved for, so again, we're looking at 0 up to infinity as our domain. And then this last one here, this is the one that's a little tricky. So this is 4x minus 7 on the top times 3 times the square root of x. Now, you can't divide by 0, and we can't take the square root of a negative. So that means if we can't take the square root of a negative, we're going to be greater than 0 or equal to. But remember, we can't have 0 on the bottom, so therefore I have to get rid of that equal to and just say x is greater than 0. So in this case, we'll say everything between 0 and infinity, positive infinity, but 0 does not count. Alright? So that's kind of the trick one. Make sure that if the square root's on bottom, it's still the same thing, it's just we can't have 0 in here. So that's why we don't have it equal to. So going to the next pairing of f of x and g of x. So now we're doing composition. So remember, I'm going to do f first. This will be 2 blank minus 9. I'm now going to do g of x in red. So I put in 3x squared plus 7 into that space. Right? So distribute the 2 in. We're going to get 6x squared plus 14 minus 9. So this is 6x squared plus 5. Now be our function for 1. And 8, I'm going to rewrite g, so this is 3 blank squared plus 7. Inside for the blank, we put in f of x, so it's 2x minus 9. So when you do this, we actually have to square first. So we have to do the 2x minus 9 times 2x minus 9. And then we'll multiply by 3, then we'll add the 7. So this is 3 times 4x squared minus 18x minus 18x plus 81. So this is 3 times 4x squared minus 36x plus 81. I'm now in the process of distributing in my 3. So this is 12x squared minus 108x plus 243. And now I add these together. So our final is 12x squared minus 108x plus 250. And there's my g of f of x. Let's finish up with f of x minus g of x. So I put in 2x minus 9, and I'm subtracting my g of x, which is 3x squared plus 7. So I'm going to have a negative 3x squared plus 2x. And this will be negative 9 minus 7. So we can go ahead and rewrite my first two terms, and then minus 16. Okay, so that should wrap up the front page. We'll see you here in a second. We're back. Okay, continuing with the back, we got f of x. So I'm going to start here with the outside one. So this will be negative blank plus 8. Let's do the inside in blue. So we have f of x. All right. Distribute the negative in. This becomes x minus 8 plus 8. So that's just x. So it looks like we got inverses. Coming over here, g of x. Okay, so first time I rewrite g of x, I'm going to have blank squared plus 4. The inside one I'll do in blue, which is still an x squared. Sorry, x squared plus 4. So really what we have is x squared plus 4 times x squared plus 4 plus 4. So if we FOIL, you're going to have x to the 4th plus 4x squared plus 4x squared, and then 16. Let's combine like terms, so it'll be x to the 4th plus 8x squared plus 20. Okay. Moving right along, what I'm going to do is think here so I can actually see what the functions are, because as I move this up, I won't be able to see them. So slide this down, and now we're answering 12 and 13. So in 12, we'll do f of 5, so this would be negative x, but instead of x, I leave it blank, and then plus 8. Now this time I plug in the negative 5. So now I got 8 minus 5 is 3, and then I have 8 minus 3 is 5. Over here, I'll do f first, which would be negative blank plus 8. I'll do the g of negative 1 in blue. So this will be negative 1 squared plus 4 inside parentheses. So this would be positive 1 plus 4. So this will be negative 5 plus 8, which is 3. Okay? Now, and you can see at the end here, your last question is going to be explain all your steps in 11, 10, 11, 12, or 13. You must use complete sentences to earn full credit. So in this one here, this was f of g to the negative 1. I first rewrote f of x, but I left the x value as blank parentheses. Now, I placed g of negative 1 inside these parentheses. Okay. At this point, I squared negative 1 to get positive 1. Then I added 4 to 1 to get 5. I multiplied 5 times 5 times negative 1, and added 8 to that product. Giving me and that's it. So just take your time, actually write it out. If you have questions, email, see me before the test, or any other kind of way of communicating. But good luck, guys, on the test. We will see you in class. See ya.